You know me as Larry Klayman. I'm the founder of both Judicial Watch and Freedom Watch, the former Senate candidate, a trial lawyer and prosecutor of the U.S. Department of Justice that helped break up AT&T. I've experienced a lot in my career. And in the course of doing that, I came to see increasingly just how compromised and corrupt government had become. Many people have seen it as well. For years, I toiled in the courts. I still do. I obtained very positive decisions, you can see, by going to freedomwatchusa.org. And little by little, I began to understand that the power in this country belongs to the people, that we don't have a legal system that functions, and certainly not in 2024. And we can see that in particular with regard to the January 6th peaceful protesters being thrown in prison for simply exercising their First Amendment right to protest. What's the reason for that? Well, if you go back and you read the book Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, or you see the 1984 book of George Orwell and others, you'll understand. This is Big Brother. Big Brother does not want you to raise your head. Big Brother does not want you to contest the government. The government is currently in control of the radical left, the so-called progressives. It's not progressive at all. That's a positive word. It's digressive. It's regressive. And we, the people, have a right to stand up and protest. All around us, our institutions are crumbling. Our values have been destroyed. People are on drugs. People are not aware of even what's going on to any large extent. It's about pleasuring oneself, not putting the country first. John F. Kennedy said, paraphrasing, ask not what you can do for your country, but ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. In fact, the way I said it first is the way most people see it. There's some humor to that. It is time for us to rise up peacefully and legally. It is time for us to become sober and aware. Life is great. Life can be happy. Life can be full of love, and life can also be very difficult. Now is the time to realize that we're going through difficult times. Take care of the people that love you, but also stand up for them so they have a country that they can live in. Whether you're near retirement age or whether you're young or middle-aged, this country is on its back. It's falling apart. As I've said many times, it's like we're sitting on the deck of the Titanic listening to chamber music as a ship of state is hitting rock bottom. I'm a little tired today. I've been traveling a lot in the last few weeks. I have hurt my eye. That's why I'm wearing these sunglasses. My left eye is red. It's not pleasant to look at. But I will soldier on, and I want you to soldier on. I don't care how tired you are or what's going on in your life in personal respect or in any other respect. If you care about yourself or your kids or grandkids, if you have kids or grandkids, the younger generation, please go to Freedom Watch and join us. We are dedicated to trying to save this country. And it's not just a question of Republicans versus Democrats, Democrats versus Republicans. Of course, we're nonprofit, and we're also nonpartisan at Freedom Watch. It is a question of what's right. It's a question of doing good things, doing good deeds. It's a good question of the divine providence of God carrying out his will and his wishes, or her will and his wishes, as some might say. But now is the time to rise up. I want you to go to YouTube and get the movie Distinguished Gentleman. It was with Eddie Murphy a number of years ago. It describes the way Washington, D.C. really works. We can accomplish a lot of good, not just with hard-hitting legal suits, but also with humor. I've done stand-up comedy in my life. I hope I have time to do it in the future. But at the same time that we must be serious, that we must be aware, that we must be alert, that we must fight for the right to be free, we can also try to approach people with a little sense of humor to get them to understand what needs to be done and how we need to proceed to save the country. So I would like you to go to freedomwatchusa.org. I'll run a clip from that movie, Distinguished Gentleman, with this podcast. But I also want you to really just pray. Pray for yourself, pray for your family, pray for the people that you love. But that's not enough either, because God will only help those that help themselves. So go to freedomwatchusa.org, join our Justice League. Give us the resources to do what we need to do. We are your real Justice Department. You can contribute with tax-deductible contributions. Get my latest book, It Takes a Counter-Revolution, Wake Up America. It's important to understand what we face, but it's also important to act. And now is the time to act before it is too late. So I want to thank everybody that supported me over the years. I should do that more. I want to thank everybody who is there, not just for themselves, but for the country. Because if you care, you will not sit there and just watch cable news. You will join us at Freedom Watch. So go to freedomwatchusa.org. Thank you for listening to me. I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast. And remember, God will only help those who help themselves. Thank you for listening to me.